Are you?
How you living? I'm
Hey,
good. I'm good.
so great to have you here. Thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule to join me
Absolutely.
in the Black Media Matters studios.
Listen,
Welcome.
thank you. I love it. It's great. When you walk in, you just feel like immediately immersed in the Black experience. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really what this is about here. And, we love our partnership with, Fifth Avenue Theater. We always want to make sure that we are sharing these opportunities to experience theater with our community who sometimes feels, is that really a space for me? So we really try to make it welcoming and warming. And I know that Fifth Avenue Theater cares so much about that.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about what got you into it, because I mean, your name is James Earl Jones II, so people could probably figure it out. Like, oh man, legacy, right? But tell us about
Uh,
like your, start in acting.
in acting in general,
Yeah.
um, I was just I was just a hyperactive kid, and my mother was a teacher in Chicago, and she was like, "We're going to have to do something with that energy." And so she put me into acting, but I only did a few plays. I actually wanted to be a doctor.
Mm.
Um, and I mean, I wanted to be a doctor until I got accepted to Emory University in Georgia. And I joined this. I applied for this medical program in high school. I went to Whitney Young, which is the same high school as Michelle Obama,
All right, all right.
and I was. It was between my junior year and senior year of high school, and my supervisor at the University of Illinois Chicago hospitals, he was doing his residency at Fisk, and he was telling me, "Oh, I only got a few more years left," and I was like, "A few more? Uh, how long have you been in school?" And he was like, "Oh, I've been to about 8 years." He said, "I only got about 4 more to go." And I was like, "Oh, is that's your timeline? Like you like to take things easy?" He was like, "No, no, doctors are generally, you know, anywhere from 13 to 20 years." And I was like, "Oh no, Lord, I got to find something else to do." And honestly, I didn't know what to do. But my dad's sister, my auntie Pam, she was like, "Well, I mean, you sing just for fun. Why don't you go to school for singing?" And I said, "Okay." So that's what I did. I went to University of Illinois Champaign. I went there for vocal performance. So I was my focus actually was opera and classical music,
Mm.
and uh, I, I will say that like my journey is very different from many because I feel like I was doing something that I was good at, but I didn't understand my purpose at the time. I felt like, I mean, I sang in Europe. Um, had the opportunity to sing a solo at Notre Dame in Paris, but I still didn't realize my purpose. So like I came back after college. I was working at a law firm, another law firm, an African American advertising firm, but I wasn't performing at all.
Mm.
And my voice teacher, um, my voice teacher, the late Robert Berthold, he and I always worked together during high school when I'd come home for college, and we were working together, but I wasn't actually performing. I would just see him every week. It was almost like therapeutic.
Mm.
And then he passed away.
Mm.
And when he passed away, he left me a letter. He had gifted me a piano and boxes of vocal music and a letter that just it basically asked me what I had done with my life.
Mm.
And at the time, I hadn't done much.
Mm.
And so I told myself that I didn't really know how I was going to move forward. I didn't really know what I needed. I just know I needed to do something different. I
Mhm.
needed to audition. I needed to find my footing. I just needed to do something. Um, and so I did. I auditioned. That was my New Year's resolution. I auditioned immediately the very next year. I booked this show called The Gondoliers with the Hyde Park Gilbert and Sullivan Society, um, and uh, and then I just didn't stop,
Wow.
and so here I am.
That's really, I think, the story of so many, right? There's always these unique kind of qualifiers and characteristics, but the idea of perseverance, right? Like pushing through it, audition after audition, building upon one experience over the next. I know even for me, I think about my own personal experience and I go, there was something that was so surreal about me landing my first lead role, right? And I remember being like, oh my gosh, it was Miss Firecracker contest, right? And they were like, well, out of all of y'all who kind of made it through the first round, who's willing to dye their hair red for this role? And I was the only Black girl. And I was like, my mom and dad are not having that, right? But for some odd reason, they were like, you know what? We're still going to roll with you. We found a workaround and all this. And so it worked out. And that for me was like a spark. But every time there was this buildup. Well, I could just say that I'm so glad I did see you on Friday and I did not know what to expect. But this story is one that I don't know has ever been told. And the way it's told in this musical is so well put together. Tell me a little bit about your experience because you played various characters, but when you come out as that captain, oh goodness, you take it to another level too. But tell us a bit about your experience because this is really an ensemble cast. All of y'all are playing multiple characters. You're on stage the entire time, no intermission. This is like it's one of a kind, James.
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about the show when I first auditioned for it. Uh, and I didn't know anything about Gander when I first auditioned, um, which I don't think a lot of people do. Like I'm from Chicago, I still live there. And, the events that happened, they happened at a time that was before things were going viral, right?
Yeah.
Like things didn't go viral. So, like, how you heard about these events, I mean, I wouldn't even know, but I remember my agent. So my agent is Stuart Talent, and my agent Jim. He was like, "Hey, I want you to come in for this audition," and I said, "Great." He said, "I don't know what it's about." And I said, "Okay," and he said, "Do you know?" And I said, "I have no idea." And so I came in, and he just said, "You got to play a lot of characters." And I said, "Okay." So we went in. I came into the office. We did a tape. We sent the tape in. About a week and a half later, I flew to New York, um, and I did a I did an audition with the creative team and the producers. I came back later that day for a movement call. I saw the show that night because I had never seen it. Um, and then I had one more call back the following morning. I hopped on a plane, I got home, and when I landed, my agent called me super excited and said I booked it.
Wow.
It was very surreal. Um, one of the awesome things, two of our four producers, Kenny and Marlene Alhadif, actually are based here, live here.
Mm.
Kenny has an office at the Fifth Avenue Theater. And I remember him saying that, like, the show isn't just about casting talented people, it's about casting people who reflect the people of this town,
Mm.
good people. Um, because I'm sure that there are probably far more talented people than us who maybe just don't reflect the same ideals of the show or the community. Um, and honestly, like I just what I love most about the show, which a lot of people can't say, is that one, it's based on a true story. Two, you have the opportunity to meet these people in real life,
Mm.
and 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 they are exactly like we do, like exactly like the way we characterize them in the show.
Wow.
They are awesome people, full of kindness, and I actually I'm the only one, at least for now, that has had the opportunity to go to Gander. Um,
Wow.
Now, when we opened here in 2018 for the beginning of our tour, most of the plain people that we characterize and the Newfoundlanders came and saw the show for our opening. We all took a bow together. It was pretty
Wow.
epic. Um, but like having Q&As, talking to people like, what's Gander like? And it was like, none of us could say, like nobody knew. And so I flew there in July of 2019, and they are every bit exactly like we characterize them in the story. I think it is really smart uh, that our director, Chris Ashley, he basically picked 6 men, 6 women, and we basically create about 70 characters.
Wow.
Um, and what I love is that the show is like 100 minutes, there's no intermission. And part of the impetus behind that was, um, I believe when it was first being workshopped, they used to have an intermission after the big screech-in moment
Mhm.
into Beverly Bass's song "Me in the Sky." However, I think Chris determined that not only does it lose kind of like the the momentum,
Mhm.
but he also felt like, well, the people in Gander for 5 days didn't have a chance to take a break,
Mm.
so we won't take a break.
Wow.
And so we just we do the show, and honestly, no matter how many times we do it, whenever people say, are you tired of doing it? I know you must be tired. I know this must be exhausting, but the reality of it is that like you never get tired of telling a story that not only changes people for the better, but you don't get tired of telling a story that uplifts people,
Mm.
that connects people, that makes them understand that like we can believe in the same things, we can believe in different things, we can love who we love, we can look how we want, and we can all be accepted.
Yeah.
Right? We can all be welcomed.
I felt that too.
Right.
I'll tell you, like that for me, not only is the story phenomenal because I mean, we're talking about 9/11, which everyone almost in the world kind of experienced it no matter where you were. And I think this show really indicates that.
Mhm.
And just so the audience is aware, this is about the folks who were on the planes, y'all, when 9/11 happened. So they weren't able to land in their respective places in the United States. And all of these planes ended up in Newfoundland in a town called Gander. And that's what James is talking about here, where then the town of Gander of 9,000 people received 7,000. They were calling them plain people, right? Received 7,000 people. And they showed their hospitality in a way that was like far beyond ever reaching. The story for me takes on so many different notes, right? Because from one of your characters that you played, as a black man being like, I don't know about my wallet being sold, right? Like the idea is that there was something in this show for everybody, all the way down to the woman who told her story of becoming a pilot, which I thought was so phenomenal. There is something I walked away with it, and I was talking to my friend and I said there's just something special about how there's something in this for everybody. And so no matter what your day was on 9/11, you there's some type of connection you can make to the characters here, which is why I love that you guys play so many different characters and you guys seamlessly go in and out of these characters. Just tell me a bit about that for you, because you play multiple characters. Oh my gosh, then you come in and you have this Nigerian accent and I mean, I was just like, I was really blown away because it takes for an actor, it takes your talent to another level because then you get to showcase this huge range
Yeah.
that you have in one show. Tell us about that for you.
Yeah. So I think that this show, it is a musical. It is heavy with music. David Hine and Irene Sankoff, the lovely married couple who wrote this show, they wrote it with a lot of music that was it informs you of certain like Irish tunes and even a little bit of jazz.
Yeah.
And there's so many different styles of music, but with the characters, I think that one of the things for me is that like even though it feels like a musical, um, even though it feels like a musical, it is an actor driven show. It's an actor driven show. And I think that for many of us, we just have a lot of fun creating these different characters, right? And we had plenty of time to nuance them. Um, because we started rehearsing for this show August 27th, 2018. We started performing it here in Seattle October 5th of 2018. And I mean, we have now done close to 900 shows. Um, and so, we have plenty of time to nuance, to change the rhythm, to work on our accents. We have an awesome dialect coach, Joe Goldies, who's based out of California, and he would come to shows, and he'd be like, it was a really great job. But still, here's what you need to kind of work on. And I mean, we're never perfect, but but practice makes progress. So we keep at it, and we play with the voices, we play with our dispositions, with the accents, and I think that one good thing is that sometimes we have a costume piece that we put on, and that informs us and then informs the audience. But I think I remember having a Q&A with a woman in Pittsburgh who was like, "Am I going to know you're a different character?" And I was like, yes, you will, because I think that early on the audience at first, for like the first 5 minutes, they might be like, "Wait a minute." But then it becomes very clear, like, okay, you're a different character now. And some people, after they see the show, will still say, "I thought there were more people on stage."
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, it's just 12 of us.
I was going to actually say that when you said 12, because it just felt like you guys were filling the room. I mean, you guys were, even the movement, like the choreography of it, right? In terms of how you guys flow and the movement of, one scene to another and bringing these different characters to life. And
Mhm,
like you said, those nuances actually make a huge deal. So
mhm.
I'm so glad that I was able to see the show. And I am glad that you came here, because now folks know a little bit more about what they can expect when they come. But I
Yeah.
want to give you that opportunity before I let you go today. Look right there and let them know how they can come and see Come From Away.
Oh, sure. So you can come see Come From Away at the Fifth Avenue Theater. We are there for this week and next week, Tuesday through Sunday. We do 8 shows a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7:30 p.m. Saturdays at 1:30 and 7:30, and Sundays at 1:30 and 7:30. Come see us there, and we are going to have an awesome time. Come and be changed.
Yeah, be changed by this phenomenal story. Untold true story that blew me away. It
Yeah.
really did. It was so eye-opening, to experience so many different characters and for it to be real. I'm telling you, I walked away and I was just like blabbing about it the whole weekend. James, thank you so much for joining me on the Day
Thank
with
you.
Trae today. I'm so glad that I, was able to see you and meet you today. So
Thank you.
honored, and thank you for a phenomenal job in this
Absolutely.
show.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming and for having me on.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, you guys.